Okay, let's look at tracking your steps for fat loss. Now I know there's a lot of confusion out there. Do you need to hit 10,000 steps? Do you need to have a fucking iWatch? Do you need to have a pedometer? What do we need to aim for, etc.? So first of all, if we understand, fat loss basically comes down to calories in versus calories out, okay? So what we're trying to do is to burn more calories than what we take in. Okay, now this calories out compromises a lot of things, encompasses a lot of things, a lot of which are not in our control, our voluntary movements, our metabolism, our hormonal function, etc., etc. However, one of the main things that encompasses our calories out is our activity, how many calories we are burning through exercise or just general movement on a daily basis. And that is why we will use step counts as a way to see what a calories out number is. Because obviously if somebody's tracking, we get to see this number, the tracking in MyFitnessPal. Okay, but a lot of what we don't look at is the calories output and the step count. Okay, so what can happen, and your body's very smart, is that if you drop your calories, what can happen in some people who have a very adaptive metabolism is our brain says, well, this person's not giving me enough calories, so it can inherently make you a little bit lazier and a bit more lethargic. And so without you noticing, your step count will go down, you'll move less during the day, and thus that cancels out the drop in calories. And then you don't lose weight, and then you wonder what the hell is going on. Because your body's very smart. So you could drop your calories by say 500 calories a day, and they've done studies on this before. But if you weren't looking at your step count, when we drop calories, our brain's obviously smart, and for some people, our metabolism is very adaptive. So it doesn't want to lose weight, or it doesn't want to lose a lot of weight. So what can happen is you drop your calories by 500, but your brain inherently makes you a little bit more lazy, a bit more lethargic, and thus you move around less during the day. And you could move around up to 500 calories less that day. And so because you're not looking at it, that cancels each other out, and you don't know why you're losing weight because now you're eating less, but your activity has dropped. So we need to basically look at them both in tangent. Well, I need to look at them both in tangent, that's my job, and then I will make an assumption based off your fat loss what we need to do. Now I know everyone's going to be different. People are going to work very inactive jobs, have lifestyle set up where they're not going to move them that much. That's fine. A general number, what I'd like people to aim for, if they can, is between 8 to 10,000 steps a day. Okay. Over 8,000 steps you could probably class as kind of active. Under 8,000 will probably be sedentary. And there's a number of reasons for this. They've actually seen people that get under 8,000 steps. It can impact on your appetite and your hunger and actually make you more hungry. When we move around more, it regulates our appetite and hunger in a way that makes it easy for us to stick to our calorie deficit. As well as that, we look at the calories burned. 10,000 steps can be estimated to be around 500 calories burned per day. Okay, and if we look at a normal gym workout, that could be up to 2 to 3 times the amount of calories burned in a normal gym workout. Which is crazy, and it frustrates me seeing people train hard in the gym but then not move the rest of the day. As well as this, when our activity's up outside the gym, when we get sunlight, when we get fresh air, when we burn calories, that will all have a positive effect on our sleep as well. And there's a number of different ways to track that. Obviously, if you have an iPhone and you have your phone on you most of the day, the health app will tell you how many steps you're doing. You can obviously buy an independent piece of equipment, iWatch, Fitbit, pedometer, Garmin, whatever you choose, and the majority of them will link up with the app so I can see exactly what you're doing in real time. Now, the other main reason I like looking at step count as a way of burning calories is it means you don't have to spend your whole life in the gym in search of the body you desire. So we could do our weight sessions in the gym. Again, the minimum kind of threshold for most people to achieve a very toned body is around 3 days a week. So we could do our 3 sessions, for example, on those days, and the days in between, instead of having to go to the gym, but we're still aware of trying to be active and burn calories, we can simply focus on a step count on those days as well. So you don't need to go to the gym and jump on the treadmill or the elliptical. If you don't want to, you could simply just focus on being more active throughout the days on the days in between the gym. And this is especially very important at the start where we're just trying to build those habits and we don't want to overwhelm people. Okay, here's some very simple tips I give to clients on how to increase your step count out of the obvious. Okay, so obviously in today's times a lot of people are working from home. A good idea what you can do is get a standing desk. Obviously make sure you bill your company for it. That way you're just going to be standing up and you're going to move more, and that will, again, among the benefits of you burning more calories, it's going to keep your hips nice and loose, stop your back seizing up, etc. If you are working from home and you have to sit down, you haven't got a standing desk yet, set your alarm every 40 minutes or so to get up and go for a 5-10 minute walk, or to get up and drink some water, and in doing so get some steps in. Or you might have timed walks where you, if you're not working, use the time where you normally would to commute, get up in the morning and then do your walk then. So if you had a half an hour commute to work, do a half an hour walk in the morning, do a half an hour walk in the evening, or whatever you need to do to space that in to even those steps out. Obviously get the stairs over lifts. If you're on escalators, don't just stand there, walk up it. You can use walking buddies. Okay, get an accountability buddy, get someone to do your steps with. Challenge step count. I'm going to start to put do challenges in the groups where you can put have each other in WhatsApp groups, and we'll find a way of just making it nice fun like people do with September, etc. It's a good way of increasing people's calories. Get a hobby. Again, it doesn't have to be necessarily walking on your own. This could be join a softball team, touch rugby, whatever it is. You can do it that way. If we're going into winter, obviously in England and Ireland and that side of the world, when it gets dark, it might be a nice walk. What you can also do is after your weight sessions, you can go on the treadmill and finish your step count off then if you didn't hit it for that day, or if you find the days in between are very gloomy, you can just go to the treadmill and do your steps there if that's easier. Okay. Obviously try to take meetings. Now we're at home, try to do it as a walking meeting where you're taking the calls and you're going for a walk doing it. That has worked well for some people as well. Okay, but the main point about all this, it's a way of increasing the amount of calories we burn. Okay, that means you can eat more food. So the more active someone is, the less I need to lower the calories. It's always easier to try bump activity up before necessarily dropping calories. Most people prefer to expend more calories rather than eat less. And it's also simply information for me to be able to adjust your plan. Think back to the diagram, fat loss is calories in versus calories out. If I can see what your activity is and then I can see what you're tracking, I can simply tell you what to do. So it's just like profits and loss and accountants. This is just information for me to adjust. Okay, hope all that makes sense. Simple introduction. Again, you probably heard this as NEAT during one of my mates doing cartel made a thing NEAT up 24/7. NEAT just being non-exercise activity thermogenesis. It's a fancy way of saying all the random bits of activity that burn calories. Okay, so there we go. Video done on tracking our steps. Hope that all makes sense. Let me know if there's any questions.